hard to realize
Yeah.
and then make the decision that, hey, we have to end this. I think it's difficult because you're trying to hold on to the idea of what could be. But when she is clearly not in the same trajectory as you, or looking for the same things as you, or just happy with what you can provide, you have to understand it and not let your ego get wrapped up into that and trying to make it work over and over and over. Like the moment she starts treating you not well, disrespecting you, not appreciating what you're doing for her, even if it's because she's used to something else, the moment that starts happening and you start seeing those problems, you just have to accept it, take the loss, and just like end it. Yep. Don't try to convince the girl of what you are giving her. And if it comes to the point that she says, yeah, this is not working anymore, I don't think we should stay together. If she's giving you those cues and saying those words, I think sometimes, and it happened to me, and I had to learn it the wrong way. I had to learn it the hard way to realize, hey, it's just not good for you. And it's not going to go anywhere. Just have the balls to just like accept it and say, okay, this is not going anywhere, and let's move on.
Yeah, no, for sure. And a lot of guys it's difficult for them to walk away from some certain things. And I feel that what really holds you grounded as a man is to make sure that your values are intact, and to make sure that you understand what your true values is as a man. Because once you understand them, nothing can hurt you, right? You can walk away from anything because you know what your ultimate goal is. And one thing that I've learned, again, referencing him, Ismail, one thing that he told me that stuck with me: your vision and your goals have to be greater than your pleasures, right? And that's key, man. If you fucking are intact with that, you're aligned to it, you can walk away from anything, man. It doesn't matter how beautiful the woman is. Again, there's women everywhere, and people or guys are too programmed to say, no, well, let me try to work it out. To what you said, let me try to work it out. Why isn't she not, seeing what I'm truly trying to bring to the table? And it's, again, man, if it's dead, it's dead. Walk away. You know what I'm saying? Turn that page and go on to the next one. That's what it is. So yeah, to your point, I agree, man. A lot of guys, it's very difficult for them to walk away from certain situations. And I think when you're a very well-aligned person or a man, and you know what your core values are as a person, you can walk away from it easily.
And I think it's difficult, but it has to be done.
Yeah.
And every person, the thing with relationships, and like I get a lot of guys that message me or comment on like my videos on the channel, and that's the topic that keeps coming back and back. I can't really know for sure all the details, but
Yeah.
And if you're asking specific questions and you're trying to figure out why she's not doing this, or why she's saying this, or why do I feel like this, if you know. And it doesn't matter how much advice we give you. If you talk to 5 therapists, when it's done, it's done. And like you said, when it's dead, it's dead. Just move on.
Yeah, for sure.
Just move on, because the pain that you're going to experience when you keep trying to make it work is worse than the pain that you're going to experience when you accept it and just move on.
Yes.
And you just need to have a couple heartbreaks to learn that one. And hopefully then that lesson will stay with you. And dude, the funny thing is that it doesn't matter how much you tell someone. Sometimes they just have to go through it themselves.
Yeah.
And I remember I had a situation like that. And my brother, I kept calling him and telling him this and that. And he's like, dude, just move on.
It's easier said than done. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, once you learn your lesson, I think it takes once.
So for some people, it takes more than once, right? I am thankful to have multiple heartbreaks throughout my 20s, right? I mean, I've really had maybe 3, but I'm thankful to go through all the shit that I went through in my 20s. A lot of learned lessons more than anything. And I think it's important for a man to experience that. Right now, I'm in my 30s. I'm 33. So now I know what it is that I can avoid, what is something that I've learned to, how to navigate through life, and what kind of chances I can take, what chances I can't take, those kind of things. And with women, it's similar, man. It's again, yeah, you're allowing someone into your space and you're allowing them into your world, right? And in order for you to have a woman open up to you is to allow them into your world first. And so once that happens, they open themselves up and out of comfort, out of, you know, you creating that safe space. But when things get to what you mentioned, where it gets really bad and it's like, you got to move on, you got to know how to fucking just cut it, right? Just move on to the next one. This ain't your first rodeo, right? I mean, you've been through this already. And those are things that you mentioned. You can go through therapists, you can go through your friends. They all have advice for you, but you already have the answer, you know, before you even ask them. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of times it could be that reassurance of like, I'm doing the right thing, right? But essentially, you already have the answer for yourself.
Yeah, and hopefully you learn it early. If you can learn it in your 20s, you're better.
How old are you now?
I'm 35.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So I didn't learn that until later because I got married like at 21, mm-hmm. and I was married for about 10 years, and then I got a divorce, and then I started dating. So I didn't start dating until like my 30s.
Yeah.
And it was different. Like it was certainly different. And I think if you're young and you can learn that, it's easier. When you're older, life changed. There are different situations. There's living arrangements. There's a lot more that goes into like a breakup when you're 35 than when you're 25.
Yes.
Things are different. I think most people that struggle with that are younger.
Yeah.
Because the pain that they're experiencing of going through a breakup, they have never felt it before. So it feels like the end of the fucking world that that's going to happen. But also people go through it in their 30s and there is different and it hurts because of all these ideas that you create in your mind about that person and how you're going to have a life together. Mm-hmm. So like they're equally hard.
Yeah.
Here, you haven't experienced it that much, so it burns. Here, you have had so many relationships and you thought that, oh, this was the one.
Yeah.
You could actually like make it work because now you're in a mode in life that you're more interested in having stability than you are having adventure.
Yes.
So that one hurts a lot too. And I think depending on the guy, what I have experienced is that because I want to be a good like man, I want to make sure that I'm not the one messing up. I'm not the one being too weird or crazy or closed off, or I'm not flexible enough, or I'm not loving enough. There's a lot that plays into that. I think with men, if their heart is in the right place, and we're talking about relationships that are coming to a breakup, not because someone cheated or we're talking about just like problems. If you're a good guy, you are analyzing like what you're taking ownership. What could I do different? What happens is sometimes you are using your logical mind to process the situation and try to find a solution. On the other side, she's just using her heart and her emotions, and she's going crazy on you because of a feeling that she has that is wrapped up into her life experience, her childhood, her previous relationships, trauma. And I don't like to use the word trauma too much because it might feel as a bad thing, but it's legit. Like based on what you experienced, you have trauma in you. And then, you know, when you're in your late 30s, if you have had a bunch of failed relationships, you're computing all of that. You're doing it with your mind. She's doing it with her heart. And like that clash of heart and mind, dude, that's like an explosion. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult. And that's why you see guys later on, they just close up. And they don't want to let anyone in because it's difficult. Now when you're 35, when you're 40, if you open up to a woman and then something happens and then, oh, fuck, that's like, and the problem, sometimes women don't give us enough credit. They think we don't care. It's like, no, at least for me, if my relationship is not well, I can't function well. I'm going to show up to work and do whatever I have to do, but I'm not doing it the best way possible. And we care. We just carry on because we have to carry on. We can't just be like, oh, I feel bad. I'm going to like stay in bed and cry. No, like I'm a man.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I feel bad, I'm going to go do what I have to do, but I'm not functioning the way that I should. So women don't understand that. Also, like, we don't understand that they're having like an emotional response to this whole thing that we are seeing very clearly with our logic. They just have a feeling.
Yeah.
And they got the feeling, and like no matter what you say, the feeling is still there. So sometimes you have to just let them have that feeling, or figure out how can you change what they're feeling. And this is something that I have learned sometimes. Sometimes with my wife, I'm like, you're having your feeling, if I let you be, you're going to spend 2 days mad at me and having all these feelings. No, I'm not. Let's go. Let's go here. Get dressed. We're going to go eat. Yeah. Get dressed. We're going to, like, you have to break them out of the placement and like direct the situation.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're not in control. And then if you let her emotions control your relationship,
then it's no good. Nah, yeah, for sure. Again, and I know exactly where you're coming from, because a lot of guys, instead, what they'll do is they'll challenge their woman. They'll challenge them into, why do you feel that way? Like, or, you know, they'll try to put them in a place of like, you know, you're wrong. No, it's not that. It's having to understand them, and it's having to really communicate the right way with them, because what you mentioned was that, you know, they're driven by emotion. Yes, absolutely. So if their emotion gets the best out of them, then it's not good, because it's going to last you even longer than just having to resolve that problem right then and there. So instead of challenging, you can acknowledge, right? Or you can praise. And there's two different ways of seeing that, right? So acknowledge can be, well, I acknowledge that you're upset. Let me try and understand why it is that you're upset. And then how can you shift that perspective on how she's viewing the problem, and how you can present that solution? Because we're solution-based men. That's what we are. We're solution-based. And so, you know, and that praising can come from, you know, how do you interact with this woman, right? How do you make sure that she feels that comfort to express herself on how she's really feeling, right? And it's like, to your point, again, a lot of guys, man, they just go away from it. And it's like, oh, why is she mad? Why is she, you know, I'm going to go out with my friends then. Fuck it. Like, fuck her. No, it's not even about that, man. She's feeling something, and you have to try and understand and get to the deep cause as to why she's feeling that way. Yeah. I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah, it takes work.
It takes a lot of experience, I'll tell you that, man. And it kind of, again, going back into why I think it's important for a lot of men to experience so many things in their 20s, because by the time they get to the 30s, they should already know what they want. You know, and you know, I have a younger brother. He's 21, and he's learning a lot. He's learning a ton, man. I mean, he'll call me once a week, and we'll, you know, kind of have that conversation of like, okay, so you have this situation with this, and then this. Okay, let me help you navigate through it a little bit, right? And so I ask the right questions to get to the deep root of what it is that's having him question what it is he's doing, whether it could be his school, or it could be his, you know, the women he's dating, whatever the case is. But I think it's important for him to like experience all that, but also have a good pathway to make sure he can avoid a lot of the things that could potentially bring him down. It's like, you know, it's like,
does he listen to you?
Yeah, you know, man, he's good. I mean, he's met him, Roger, you met him, Montana. Yeah. He's good, man. He's been very like in tune with a lot of things, man.
He needs to start making money. Like put all energy towards making money.
Oh no,
like,
for sure.
3 girls at that age, I don't think you have the